Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully all the bears and all the cougars and everything else that could eat me have already eaten today. I hope they already had their breakfast because I don't really feel like being the meal today. I want to take you guys up somewhere. I've never been up here before, but I always wanted to stop and take a look. It's always nighttime. It's always in a hurry time. But today's a little different. Springtime. Oh, it's not so springy over there yet. Look at that. It really is not. Thought it was already springtime here. This is beautiful Montana. There's still ice out there. Look at that. More than half the lake is still icy. Huh. How about that? Well, I wanted to tell you guys, touch on a subject of local loads. Can you survive on staying local? I know you guys see me being local, and a lot of people think that they can survive on being local. I'm going to tell you this. It's hard. Right now, it's hard. We're already into March, and March hasn't changed anything from February. Still the same. For some reason, we're still in the same shoes as before. Things didn't get better. Oh my, look at that. Woohoo! Somebody falls, that's it for somebody. Now that's beautiful. Things did not change. They did not really get better. No significant difference. And if you're being local, you're not gonna, by the time you pay insurance, by the time you guys add all your little expenses, and they're not little anymore, you know, and these local loads, the problem with them is they're hard to get for a decent price. Some people might think that, oh, I'm gonna get a 50-mile run for $100. I get $2 a mile, that's great money. If you get 5 of them in a day, sure, I would say that's decent money. But if you're gonna go to the airport, pick up a load, sit there for 2 hours, drive 2 hours, unload, takes half an hour, maybe an hour somewhere, and then gotta drive a couple hours back home, well, you only made that $100, maybe 200 in that day. And in the end, not every day it's that easy to grab those loads because they're hard to get. It's the truth, it really is. And you just can't. I mean, staying local and regional, the reason why it works out a little better for me is because, first of all, the driving that I do for you guys to show you on video, to train you guys, and to show what this job's all about, the driving I do is actually regional in the area of Washington, Oregon, Montana, and Idaho. So out here, there's usually no vehicle standing waiting for a load because they're hard to get. It's just, you know what I mean? A lot of times, even the ones I bid on, they go for cheaper. They find somebody else that'll go. They'll send them LTL and everything else. So right now, price pay is a big difference. Sometimes money doesn't matter and it's got to go. That's a different story. But the reason it works out a little better for me is because I don't depend on strictly driving. I am in the office getting loads for other drivers. And just being local, you wouldn't survive. Paying insurance, if you have a note payment, paying, you know, a note payment on the vehicle, plus maintenance on the vehicle, even if you do it yourself, all that, when you put it all together, in the end, it's not worth it. I wouldn't do it. Not strictly depending on that, no. It's a little better where I'm at because it's in the middle of nowhere. And when a load goes one way, you know, local loads like Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Atlanta, I mean, any major and big city throughout US, local loads out there are cheaper because they're not a round trip load. They're anytime you go somewhere else, you can wait for a different load, whatever your delivery area is, and you can get out of there and keep going, or either get load back to where your home base is or whatnot. So it pays like one way. Out where I'm at, there's usually nobody waiting for these loads. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me getting something and it's actually gonna end up with decent mileage, and you can, you know, it's a little easier, it's a little bit better. It's not 100% better and it's not 100% easy, but it's a little better. Let's see if this is a little better. There we go, that's a little better. You guys can actually see me. So for me, if I was strictly depending just on these local ones, honestly, you can't survive. You're not going to. There's no way, no possible way. With how much food costs these days, with how much everything else is, with inflation, you guys gotta trust me. It's gonna be really, really hard for you to make it in this industry, in the expediting industry, being local. Maybe if you do your little gig apps and things like that, maybe you'll pull it off, maybe, but in the end, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't invest into a van yet and only try to do local. That's what I mean. A lot of people will call us and get on the road and think that, yeah, I'll do some of, they'll kind of, some people think that it's easy and they're gonna get it done, and being away from home is easy. So they'll go out for a day or two and all of a sudden something shifts. I don't know what shifts, or maybe they just think that they're gonna lie their way through it and go out and all of a sudden come right back. But being OTR driver, over the road driver, means that you're gonna be over the road for a long period of time, not just 2-3 days and then turn around and come straight home. There's no lanes like that, like there are in the semi-truck world. There's no lanes. Expediting means something happened, something broke down somewhere, somebody needs a part, airplane on the ground, machinery broke down, you know, somebody's in a factory, something broke down. That's usually the kind of loads that we take. And you never know where it's gonna be at and where it's gonna be going. So there's no set lanes. In a semi world, things are 100% totally different, because there's always some kind of production, and that production has distribution, and that distribution has lanes. So always somebody's shipping out the same kind of orders, same kind of stuff to usually the same kind of customers or same areas. That's when things are a little different and easier in the semi world versus expediting. So people, if you're thinking that semi driving and expediting is the same kind of thing, it's totally different, because here, like I said, you never know where you're gonna end up. And that's why I say you gotta be prepared to be on the road for 2 to 3 weeks at a time without coming home. Otherwise, if you just go out and then, you know, go 1,000 miles out of the way or 1,500 miles out of the way from home, leave on a Monday, Tuesday, get there Wednesday, Thursday, then say, okay, well, we gotta look for a load back home because I wanna be home for the weekend. I gotta see wife and kids. Guys, it's not gonna happen. Because it could happen, but the chances of it happening are very, very slim, because you're only looking at a load going one direction. You're cutting out the rest of the 90% that you could be getting, and you're only looking for one way. And if there isn't that one way, you just wasted whatever time you spent waiting for that load. Dispatch wasted time, didn't make any money off of you. You didn't make any money waiting around, and then all of a sudden the weekend comes along and you're stuck sitting around somewhere for the weekend. And then another week begins. You're still trying to look for loads going home, or you're already ready to go anywhere, but you wasted those days and the weekend and not driving. So in the end, you guys take it how you want to take it. Maybe some of you do great. Maybe some of you do okay. Maybe some of you, you know, if you don't have, you know, mortgage payments, van payments, you know, all these other things, and you're, you know, roommating with somebody or something like that, don't have big bills, maybe for you, just to get by, being local somewhere, you think it's okay. Maybe it is for you. But hey, if you want to live a good life and put money away and have things and own things, being local right now in our industry and expediting is not worth it. You just can't make any money off of that. If you guys think something different, please comment in the comment section. I want to know what you guys are doing, what gets you around. But when you're working exclusively with a company and the company's working exclusively with the same driver, you know, we depend on each other. We depend on getting you the most amount of money. You depend on us getting you the most amount of loads and mileage, whatever fits your needs. We depend on each other. And when you're not making money, we're not making money, nobody's making any money. In the end, everybody's mad. So some drivers start and some drivers quit. And it's a big, 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 big waste of money and time for that driver, because maybe he thought in his world and in his mind that, hey, I'll do some of kind of each. Maybe I'll do more local. Maybe I'll do more, a little less of that OTR stuff, or maybe I'll just do OTR when I feel like it, or maybe I'll just go and drive part-time when I feel like it. Right now, it's tough to get out of Arizona, California, West Coast as well. Kind of depends on the day, but things are tough and tight. So you guys got to understand that sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days just to get out from home, depending on where your home base is. So keep that in mind as well. It's not like you know, we're working somewhere part-time and then all of a sudden you go, okay, now I want to drive part-time. So today I'm going to become available, and then in 2-3 days I'm going to return home and keep doing my other thing that I'm doing here. If you're into this, you got to get into this 100%. Give it all you got, because otherwise, if you're trying to dip your finger into that, into this, doing something else part-time, doing this part-time, whenever things work out for you, it's not going to work. Maybe if you're doing gig apps and using your own personal vehicle, things like that, maybe for that could work out. But if you're doing exclusively expediting, and that's what I'm talking about, is exclusively expediting, being local is very tough right now, because all these other big local companies, they're taking everything they can get just to keep afloat, or just to be, you know, having their business at a wash. Because a lot of trucking companies right now, they're either losing money or they're breaking even. Making money right now is really, really, really tough because of the rates. Semi-truck drivers are still hauling loads for $1 to $1.50 a mile on a dry van. I'm not talking about the ones that collect partial things, take them to the dock, and then consolidate everything, and then have 30 to 50 stops to deal with. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about full truckloads, and it's tough. It's not the same anymore. Not like it used to be. Let's get back. I hope you guys understood. Hope you guys are on the same page with me. If you are, write in the comments. Let me know what you guys are dealing with. If you are doing local, let me know how that's working out for you. Where did I park? There it is. I see the van. God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see each other next time on another one.